Make it real. That is why we are here. We are wanting to make our desired truths real in reality and experience them with our five senses. That's the game. That's why we're all here. And that is what we are going to talk about today. Last week, I spoke about two truths, meaning there is always an opposing truth to the truth you are experiencing in reality. And today I wanted to differentiate between what is real and what is truth. So we are going to flow on from last week's video. You don't have to have watched it to watch this video, but of course I do recommend it, two truths, because today we are going to take one of those truths, which is the one in imagination, and we're going to make it real. So just a little update before we get into it. I just wanted to say thank you because we, and I say we because it is a collective effort here, have become the 79th member of the Women's Giving Circle, which is an initiative led by the Northern Rivers Community Centre designed to help women and girls who are facing homelessness, domestic violence issues, confidence issues, all of those kinds of things. The initiative is about getting 100 women to donate $1,000 per year, and that $100,000 will be given to the various initiatives around the community. So thank you very much. I'm assuming most of you know me. If you don't, my name is Hedley. For more information, you will find that below the video or at my website, youaretheone.com.au. And if you haven't already, please do press that subscribe button now. That would be most appreciated. And let's get into it. Make it real. That is why we are all here, to make our desired realities actual realities that we get to experience with our five senses. So in the last video, I talked about two truths. That is, there is always an opposing truth to the truth you are experiencing in reality. And of course, that truth is in consciousness. This is why I needed to make this video to differentiate the difference between truth, what is true, and what is real, because these two concepts have become overlapped to the detriment of our desired realities. As long as we are overlapping truth and real, we are unable to unlock that gap that enables what is unreal to become reality. Now, before I go on, there is a potential that this is going to sound a little bit confusing, and that's because of the way we have become so attached and identified with what is true being real. So if you are feeling confused by what I am saying, just stay with that confusion. Confusion is the point before clarity. Confusion doesn't mean you don't get it or you're not understanding it. Confusion just means that the way you have been thinking is kind of being unraveled. In order for clarity to come through, just stay with it. What I'm talking about in these videos, not just this one, but most of them, is going against the grain of the way we have been taught to think and the way we have just naturally, habitually, unconsciously thought for most of our lives. But you are infinite knowing. You do know all of this. We have just forgotten it. And part of my role here that I see with my purpose for being here really in this channel is to remind us, myself included, what we have forgotten. We are just in the process of remembering, and sometimes it can feel like it's like, wait, what? I feel like what she's saying is true, but it also is just a bit cloudy. That's perfect. So just stay with it, just stay with yourself. Because it's really important that we differentiate the difference between what is real and what is true. These are not the same thing. They can be, yes, but they are not necessarily the same thing. And what is real in reality does not have to mean that that is true for you. You get to decide what is true for you, and then based on what you are choosing to be true for you, can be made real for you. You do not have to believe that what is real equals your truth. So if you're seeing something in reality that you don't like and you're bumping up against it because you don't want it to be true, there is another truth available to you. It's not in reality, it's in imagination. That's where you have to go. You first have to identify with that truth in imagination in order to then make it real in reality. But if you are looking at what is real in reality and you're saying, oh God, well that's true because it's real, and what is real is true, then you are keeping yourself out. You're locking yourself out of your desired realities, because as long as that truth remains in imagination, you don't get to experience it with your five senses. And that's where you start to get very skeptical about this, and you're like, well, if it's not in my reality, I can't believe it. I have to see it in my reality in order for it to be true. Well, no, that's not how it works. You have to decide what's true first, and then by paying attention to it, that then becomes real. This is going to make a lot more sense after we differentiate both real and true. So let's start with real, because this is what we have come to pay most attention to. So real comes from early 14th century, actually existing, having physical existence in brackets, not imaginary. They're making it very clear here that what is real is not imaginary. It's in reality. There is a physical existence of it, relating to things and objects in reality. So as you can see here, the word real is very much based in reality. There's a physical element to it. It is third dimensional. There is no space for the imaginary. Now, unfortunately, we have assigned truth to what is real. However, this is something different. So now let's have a look at what is true. Truth, Old English, equals faith. Faithfulness, fidelity, loyalty, veracity, quality of being true, pledge, covenant, having or characterized by good faith. And if we go further down from the root, deru, be firm, solid, steadfast. Nowhere in the etymology of the word truth, nowhere in the history of that word is there the concept of real. Nowhere does it say that truth equals what is real in reality. In fact, truth means faith, faithfulness, fidelity, loyalty, pledge. Now, what are we faithful to? What are we pledging ourselves to? Well, that goes back to the two truths. We are either faithful to what we are seeing in reality, or we are faithful to what we are seeing in imagination. Both are true. One is real, one is unreal. We have given more value to what is real, and we have devalued what is unreal. So now let's have a look at the word unreal. You know what the word real means. So the word un is a prefix of negation, which essentially means not. So now let's go to the word not. And the word not is simply a negative particle expressing negation, denial, refusal, or prohibition. So the word unreal simply means not real. We have negated its reality. We are refusing its realness. We are prohibiting its realness. We are denying its realness. And we do all of that with awareness by placing it on the truth that we are experiencing as real in reality. So we've established that there are two truths. One truth is in reality, one truth is in imagination. They're both true. Only one of those truths is real, and that's the one that's in reality. And the other truth is unreal. That's because it's in imagination. We have no sensory experience of it in physical form. We can only have that sensory experience in imagination. So we have come to devalue unreal, and we have associated what is unreal as untrue. And we've even taken it further than that and said, well, what is unreal is untrue, and therefore it's a lie. It's dishonest. It's delusional. And that's where the rational mind can come in and go, what are you doing? You're making shit up. This isn't real. This isn't in reality. Therefore, it's not true. You are going crazy. You're going insane. You're delusional. Okay, so that's how much we have come to devalue what is unreal. So this is where it comes back to faithfulness. There are two truths, and you have the choice which one to be faithful to. You can be faithful to the truth that is real in reality, or you can be faithful to the truth that is unreal in imagination. Remember that unreal doesn't mean that it can't be experienced as a truth in reality. It just means that we have been negating it, denying it, prohibiting it by placing our awareness on what is real in reality. And that's how we keep that truth alive. So in order for you to make the unreal true in reality, and therefore real in reality, means you have to pledge faithfulness to it. You have to place your awareness on it more of the time, which means taking your awareness off reality. That means you have to be thinking about this truth in imagination. You have to be thinking about that story. You have to be imagining being in that story and having that experience in imagination. pledging your allegiance to it, deciding that this is my truth, this is what I have decided to be true. And yes, at the moment it's unreal, but unreal just means not real, and that just means that I have been negating its realness by placing my awareness elsewhere. So I'm going to take all of my awareness and place it on the reality of that truth in imagination, which means activating your imaginary senses and making it as vivid as possible, because that's what makes it even more true. And then that truth gets pushed out and reflected back in reality, and now you have a new truth which is now real, and now you're not in conflict. Now you're not having to battle against what is real and what is unreal. So there is always two truths. One truth is real, one truth is unreal. You can either pay attention to what is real in reality or what is unreal in imagination. Both are true. Now, let's put this into a practical example. And of course, let's use the specific person reflection example, because that's what a lot of you are working with. So your SPR, as I am now going to refer to it, no more of this SP stuff. SPR, specific person reflection. Let's say in reality, your specific person reflection is very light on the contact. So that is real. It's in reality. You're experiencing that with your 5 senses, and you are aware of that truth in reality. So that is both real and it is true. Now, there is another truth to that experience, and that truth is the opposing truth to that, where your specific person reflection, they are consistent with their communication, they're calling, they're texting, they're showing up as you would like them to. That is also true. However, currently it is unreal because it only exists in imagination. But for that truth to become real in reality, you must pledge your faithfulness to that truth in imagination more than you're pledging your faithfulness to the experience that you're having in reality. That's your free will. You have complete free will as to where you direct your awareness. You can either direct it to what is real in reality, or you direct it to what is unreal in imagination. Both are true. You're not in denial of anything, because you're saying, yeah, okay, both are true. I get that this person really isn't showing up, and in my imagination, this person is showing up. So which one are you going to pledge your faithfulness to, which means placing your awareness on and becoming more aware of? So now you have to imagine that. You have to pledge your faithfulness to it. You have to become more aware of it. You have to make it real with your imaginary senses. What is it like to have this person calling and texting on a consistent, regular basis? What does it feel like? What are you thinking to yourself? What are you saying to your friends? How are you showing up in your reality now that that truth is real, at least in imagination for now? That's the state that you have to get in order to see it shift into a real lived experience in reality. But the thing we really all have to become better at is paying less attention to what is real in reality and more attention to what is unreal in imagination. Both are true. We're not in denial of anything here, but you get to choose which then becomes real in reality. If you are focusing on what is real in reality, and if that is unfavorable, you are just going to get more of what is already real in reality that you're not really enjoying. And that just becomes real. And then what you're doing is you are affirming that truth, and that truth becomes stronger. And it's a lot harder to get out of, because you're like, well, that's truth, and I have the evidence to prove it now. All of your awareness is on what is true in reality. And of course, we have been conditioned to believe that that is the truth because it's real, and we are more locked into it. It takes a little more conscious effort to believe that what is in your imagination is also true, because it's unreal right now. And of course, unreal just means not real. We are denying its reality by not paying attention to it. We are paying more attention to what's in reality. I think I've made my point here. I'm starting to feel myself repeat myself. I think I've made my point. Remember the I am. You are the infinite I am of your reality. You can be, do, and have absolutely anything in reality. Remember that always. Anything is up for your experience in third dimension. That's why you're here. You're here to make your desires real. You are not here just to torture yourself by having your desires in imagination and spending the rest of your life imagining what it would be like to have your desires real. That is not the game. That's not why we're here. You are here to experience desires in physical third dimensional form, but the game is you have to give your attention to already having it. And if it's not in reality, then you have to have it in imagination for it to be expressed in reality. All right, I will put that Two Truth video up here, so please do go and have a look at it if you haven't already, and make sure you leave a comment. However, I would just say, if you are leaving a comment, please do not write the old stories or the current stories if they are not ones you want to be experiencing. I will ask you to delete them and rewrite them, because this is not about affirming what it is that you don't want here. So please use the comment section wisely, use your awareness wisely. Have a wonderful week, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.